Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Sunday, April 26th. Welcome. It has been a minute. So, I've got lots of stuff to show you. It's 9 o'clock. It's after 9 o'clock at night. So, it's way past my bedtime. That's for sure. Anyway, these last few that I set up here on my pile, I forgot to take out of the bag. So I usually try to stack them up out of the bag already, but this time I did not. So anyway, here we are. This is a kit that I bought used on eBay a while back, and am using my own fabric that I dyed. This is on my list of 20. My list of 20, instead of being, okay, these are the 20 projects I'm going to finish this year. Basically, it's just my 20 oldest whips, period. Some of them have been on the list of 20 for several years running. Anyway, I feel like it's actually starting to look like the top of the boot and everything. I know I restarted this one like 3 times. I had so much trouble with, there are 2 shades of red here. Right? Not that you can tell. I had so much trouble with that. I finally pulled out the DMC colors instead of using the kit threads on those so that I could get it figured out. So anyway, that's the boot in the middle. So, I mean, I'm not complaining. I'm at least working on it, right? I'm going to make a big pile on the floor here. But I already set some stuff down there, so I had to readjust. I'm trying to think of anything fun and exciting. Mostly it's been to the office and home, and that's pretty much it. So, not a whole lot of fun and exciting stuff in there. I did get, I don't know if it was allergy related or what, but my eye just wouldn't quit running. And I think the medical term for it is gooping. And there were a couple of days that it was all so swollen and puffy and sore that it would only open about halfway. So that was fun, but it went away, and I'm glad. I'm not going to complain about it. I worked on spring homes. This is from Whispered by the Wind. Mary McDonald is who designed it. Anyway, here is where I am at. I have ring, part of the got part of the P done. This one called for a fancy floss, but I have a bunch of variegated threads that I bought in an estate sale. So I just picked one of those that was in pink, and that's what I'm using. And the fabric is kind of like clouds. I think it's just the stuff from Hobby Lobby. Probably. I did work on this one. This was also on my list of 20. It is a stamped cross stitch. I have discovered that I really do not care for working on stamped cross stitches, but I'm determined to finish it, even if it kills me. So here we are. This time I did back stitching up in here. I worked on this one, I believe, and I think I came in and did some of this darker green around, but there we are. I don't know why I get confused on the stamped cross stitch where, or is this where X's meet, or is this the middle of the X? Because everything just, it's too much. It's too much. And I had a new start, Christopher Kringle, from Heartstrings. And this is the cross stitch piece here, and then you cross stitch for this little bag and the little toys that he's holding, which is just really neat. And it also has the pattern in here to make the doll. I got plenty of time. We'll see if I do all that. But anyway, that's where my needle is, but this doesn't feel right. None of it makes sense. I try to put my needle at the top. I try to have things at the top, but none of it feels right. Oh, I think this is actually how it goes. I know, very well prepared. Good job, good job. So there we are. As you can see, I went way out of line for me and put it on, it's a gray and white. I got this from 1884 Stitchery. And I had no idea when I bought it that it was a giant piece of fabric and I should be stitching everything on it. I couldn't even swear to you what count it is, but I'm doing it 2/2. I know that much. So anyway, I just did, started in the middle, and that's just part of the beard coming down, and then part of the jacket. You can't see it because it's behind the bag here. So I think that's the way it goes. I should put something on here that lets me know where the top is. So, there we go. I just stuck a pin in there. All right. Oh, I know last weekend we were out working in the yard because the burn ban is off and we have really big piles. So I was burning and Dax was trying to cut down some limbs that are, a telephone line runs through our yard. And he was trying to cut down a branch that was pushing on it. And not the telephone company has ever in the 20 years that we've lived here come to check. The power company comes every year or two to make sure the lines are clear. But so he was trying to get it down, and it had been hanging near the line so long that the tree is entangled with the telephone line. And so when I first went out there, this is my Men Die Younger, he was standing inside the wheelbarrow trying to cut branches above him. And I guess that seemed too shaky eventually. So he went and got a ladder, and I did not see it happen, but apparently he did get what he was cutting on near the line to break loose that he was cutting and pulling on, and it flung one way and he flung the other way right off the ladder, flat on his back. He was a little sore, to say the least. I said, is there going to be an age that you reach where you can be left alone to do adult things? Because we haven't gotten there yet. Anyway, he is fine. He is fine. From Stony Creek, Spooky Welcome. I did work on this one. Obviously, I worked on what I'm showing you. So here is where we are. This time I know I finished this ghost. I had a little bit. Sorry, that's all in the needle. I had like just a couple of lines on it done, so I finished it up. And that may be all that I actually did. In these last few weeks, there have been quite a few days where I slept right through my alarm. So there are things that did not get as much work as I would like. Fancy that ghost. I think it says it's just Boo, but I call it Fancy That Ghost. Apparently, I like to rename my projects. This time, what I did on it was the outline for the ghost. There's only a little bit that's not filled in with white. So, there we are. That might actually even be ecru. I'm not sure. But at least this way, next time I pick it up, I can do fill in for quite a bit of it. You know, I want to say, oh, look, I'm so close to being finished, but that's a lot of stitching and just getting that white done. And here, I'll tell you, because this has a sticker on it. This is some fabric that Colbin had sent me. It's a 14 count Zweigart Turbulence. That's the fabric. It's a big piece of fabric. This is only on part of it. So it's a pretty cool looking piece of fabric. Sorry. After yesterday, again, we were outside for a long time. And then today we were outside because Dax set up Ryan's little water play table. So he was out there playing in the water when they were over earlier. We've just been having lots of fun outside, but I'm allergic to outside. So at this point in the year. Anyway, I worked on my January sweet stitching. This is my last one out of that club. And I finished it. Yay! It really is pretty cute. And you know, because by the time I finished getting all of this white, I was like, I just want to be done. And I made myself go back and put in all the little snowflakes. I wasn't going to, but I decided I better do that. So I said that when I finished this, I would do a giveaway. So here it is. It'll be all 12 of the patterns, and it's just the patterns, but it'll be all 12 of them. And just mention sweet, since they're sweet stitching. Mention sweet in your comment, and you know all the other rules. At least 18, don't say giveaway or any of that stuff. And I'll wait a couple weeks. Hopefully I'll be back again next weekend and get back into the every week, but I'll wait a couple of weeks before I pick a winner. So there you go. I worked on this one. It's a little tiny kit. And the day before I was like, oh, maybe I can really get a lot done on that one. Yeah. This was another, I slept through my alarm. I got to stitch for about 15 minutes maybe. So I think I put in like one shade of the gray that's up here. And there are at least 50, we all know that. I worked on my boat. This one may have made it into my top 20. I think so. So that's a sign that it should be farther along than it is. Hold on, my needle minder came off. I'm like, why is there just a needle sitting there? Because only one half of the needle minder is here. Anyway, here we are. And this is another one that is confetti heavy once you get down to the part I haven't done. But it's a weekender. I've been working on it for years, but maybe that means I should have been able to get it done in a weekend. I don't know. And then I have a series of bird houses that were free patterns years ago online. And even years ago, I looked back to see if I could find them again when I had showed them once before, because somebody asked, and I can't find that page. Doesn't exist anymore. But I have them all. And this time I drew, this is the February birdhouse. They're all just tall and narrow like this. This is the March, and I finished it when I stitched on it this time. I had gotten, like, that morning when I stitched on it, I had like everything done except for like this much of the vine. I even had started the vine and everything. So I was like, when we got home, I was like, just go out there and finish it. Just go finish it, because then you'd have a finish. So that was nice. It was nice to squeeze in another finish. I think that was it. I think just those two. I worked again on the Fox and Rabbit Friends and Family. This is from 2020, their stitch along that they do. The one they've got going on this year, I haven't started it. I have been downloading the patterns though. So far I like it. And they kind of are doing it in like tan and blue. And I kind of like that color combination. Anyway, I'm still on April, which, oops, let's see if we can figure this out. Where is it? Is this one right here. And I stitched a lot on this one. Last Saturday, maybe, I don't know, because I got like all of this up here done, and it's coming along. But April is huge. Yes, this is April right here. So I've only got like this part done, right? I still have all of this to go to finish April, and it doesn't get the only small parts at all are like, there's a little bit, it seems like, in maybe July and August or something, but they're all just big like that. So, oh well. I worked on the Alamo by Art Ventures. I have several of these, and they're really kind of neat, different places and everything. But here we are, just filling in here. And then I did a little bit of back stitching. Most of it doesn't show up really big because it's in the tree, but like you can see some along here and everything. Trying to back stitch as I go. But there we are, just kind of filling in. I just have, it's you know, a big unfolded, and I just have a page copied that, like, this is the top of what I have copied. So it comes across, and I don't think it comes very much farther than this. So I'm getting close to being done with what I've copied. But I want to keep doing the back stitching as I go. And then I had another new start. I know. From Victoria House Designs is Harvest Time. And I saw Robin at Lady Robin's do that one, and so I had to go get it, and I'm just now getting to it because that's how deep my tub of things I want to, things that I'm waiting to start, because I put them in there in order that I get them, so that I don't get something new and ignore the stuff I already have. But anyway, this is where I've gotten to. Just close to the middle. That's one of the pumpkins. And I am doing it on an 18 count limestone. It says basic cloth. This is what it looks like. It's an even weave. Anyway, I liked the color of this, and I didn't want to just do it on a tan. So y'all look at me branching out everywhere. The stack on the floor is getting high. I did work on my Santa's Magic by Mirabilia. Also on my list of 20. And there are times that I've thought about just taking my list of 20, right? And just work on them until they're done. But then I can't ignore everything else that's over here. So that doesn't happen. So anyway, here is where I'm at. I'm working up in the beard here. I'm trying to get to his face for Shelly's sake. Just not there yet. A lot of this that's not filled in right here is whisper thread. So lots of white and light grays in that part right now. And then out of Keepsake Cross Stitch Calendar from 2017, working on the Paisley Pumpkin. And all of this is filled in, and I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it all filled in. And this is a sow that I'm doing with Shelly. It's only stitching. So if you have something you want to do from the Keepsake Calendar, feel free to join us in our sow, because neither one of us are very good at remembering that we're doing this. So there will be no pressure. Anyway, here we are. Since the last time I finished this one, I had it down to about here. So I got that filled in, came down here and started another paisley and backstitched this pumpkin. I have a little bit, I ran out of floss, and it was time to go, but there's some more that plus a little bit more needs to be backstitched down there. So anyway, I thought I would again work on backstitching while I'm going along, instead of saving it all till the end. But I'm liking the way it's looking. I like it without it being filled in, because the fabric is dyed orange, kind of splotchy. But I like it, and I wanted the fabric to show through. From Stony Creek, I have Graveyard Halloween. And y'all, I'm getting so close. I mean, there's still plenty of time, but I'm on this tree. So I'm at like right in here. I've done this part and this over here. So I have like this part and the moon. That's all I have left. And a little tiny bit of backstitching. So that's pretty exciting. I'm not saying that's going to be done next week or anything like that, but I, you know, this year, maybe it'll be done this year. That would be kind of exciting. I also started my monthly mini village, the April one. I can't tell if that doesn't focus very good, does it? Anyway, I got all of these last year in little kits with the pattern and the fabric. And so here is where we are in this one. Look at those cute little flowers. It's adorable. It's just part of the garland where I started in the middle. So for me, I'm sure I started and went this way. But it's cute nonetheless. And because I have to work on this constantly, if I have any hope of getting this done before her 10th birthday, I did work on Hallie's birth announcement. It says designs by Barbara Smith, Bobby G Designs. This is a pattern I bought on eBay. But here is where I've gotten to. Since last time, I've gotten that dress finished. I haven't backstitched it, of course. But I am trying to backstitch as I go. I've brought the dresser down here, like right in this area. Humpty Dumpty that's where Humpty Dumpty's gonna start. Right, that part's right here. So that's pretty exciting. And I've just been kind of like, I did a little bit on the dress and then kind of would do some of the fill in and everything. I know this string is hanging here, but it's because I was back stitching, but I didn't have filled in beside it. That's the start of the bunny's ear there. I mean, I feel like, oh my gosh, I got so much done. And then I look at the pattern, I'm like, oh my gosh, I've got so much to do. Because that's not even halfway, you know? I mean, I'm like, here, I don't have all of that done. I don't have all of this filled in. I don't have this drawer done. It's just ridiculous. It's very stitch heavy, to say the least. But maybe when she gets married, I can give it to her. I do try to work on it quite a bit, as much as I'm not designed to just work on one thing. If I try to make myself do that, I just won't stitch. And that's unfortunate, but at least I know that about myself. Anyway, last time I forgot to show y'all out of Paula Vaughn's Quilts for All Seasons. I did work on March. If you're new here, I've started all of these. And is that upside down? It looks upside down. It is. Okay, here's where I am on March. I had made an error and had to pull out stuff. So when I came back in, when I worked on it in March, I fixed what I had messed up, which was down in here, and then put in some of this green on the arches for the door. It's always disappointing when you got to go pull some of it out. And then I have worked also on April. I would love to have each one of these quilts, you know, a real quilt. for each one. So here is where I'm at on April. This time I got some of this, finished off my thread of this darker red, and came back and started filling in the slats on the fence. I'm guessing that's what that is, right? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's just the folds of the quilt. Duh. Anyway, it's hard to see because a lot of what I filled in was white, but I did get all the colors, the darker colors filled in. Like on this one, all that's left, I need to fill in the white. But so far I like it. I feel like that one probably looks more like it has more done than any of the others, I think. But okay, I do believe that was all of the stitching that I've done. I have another project that I'm going to start, another one that I'm going to start this week, and I dyed some fabric for it. And look, I was so upset. Do you see all of those? I used liquid dye to avoid that very thing. And I thought, oh, maybe it won't be as bad on the other side. Yeah, it is. It is. Now I don't even know what to do with this piece of fabric. So I dyed another one. I haven't ironed this one, obviously. It has still a couple of spots, you know, but like these are at the edge. That one's, the piece is pretty much full coverage. So that one in the middle, it's going to be pretty much full coverage, but frustrating. So frustrated. Like I said, I use liquid dye so that I don't have that issue, but as you can see, it didn't work. And then I've also worked on that bunny that I'm crocheting. I have continued to work on it, and I've gotten the head done. I don't know if I had the head done last time. Maybe I did. But I told you, a giant freaking bunny. So I got the head done. I got the ears done. I haven't sewn them on. I've got them with the crochet and knitting kind of stuff to sew it on, but I've got the needles stuck through there to keep it together. So I've gotten the head and the ears done and 2 arms. I should have pulled that through before I got all the way up here. Anyway, so I've got 2 arms. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Maybe this week I can get the legs done. Also, I did FFO, this little bunny. And I had some other stuff out to FFO, and I don't know what I've done with it. I know there were more Easter things. I did not get this done in time for Easter, but that's okay. And on the back, I fussy cut a little piece of Easter fabric so that the bunny was showing up there. As you can see, it's glittery. But anyway, so I did FFO something. And then I've been also doing the English paper piecing. I did 2 more of these little flowers. I'm working on another one. I'm not quite done with it. It's missing one of its little things. And then I think I'll have, because I'm going to use these for a table runner, I think that I'll have enough to do that. And then I've been doing these other ones too that are for blanket. They call it like the impossible blanket or something along those lines. I don't remember. It basically, the impossible one uses little tiny hexies, and you do it in this shape like this, right? So I've gotten a bunch of these, right? So they all just kind of fit together. You can do them like this. Some people will put white in between them. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to piece them together. And so I have some of these made. And again, I've looked everywhere that I thought I put them and I haven't found them yet. So anyway, one day I'll find them, but I made this one and this one and this one. At work at lunchtime, if I can take a full hour, I'll sit and work on these after I finished eating until my time is up. But anyway, I've thought about going ahead and starting to sew them together, but I want to get, like right now, a lot of them that are in what I have cut out are in reds, and I want to wait until I have more colors, because I don't want it to start off like this big block of this color and then move on into others, if that makes any sense at all. At the end of March, I counted up, I think it was at the end of March. I wouldn't swear to it now, but I think it was. And I had at that time 194 whips, 5 finishes, and I had touched 42 projects that I brought forward from last year, in my Touch All the Whips thing. I think I've only started 2 since then, but I think I've also finished 2. Maybe I've started 3 since then. Let's see, I don't know. Anyway, that's where it was before. As if that matters now. Yeah, I think that's it. And now I got to clean up this mess I've made before I can even go to bed. And like I said, it's past my bedtime. I guess just thank y'all for, I'm sorry, that didn't sound right. I do thank y'all for watching, for liking, for commenting. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe. I like that too. I really do appreciate y'all. I just meant that's what's left for me to let you know. I don't have any other stuff that I've done. And as you can see, I have not ordered a frame yet to deal with that, but I need to do it. I need to get over myself and just do it. Anyway, I do thank y'all. And like I said, I hope to be back here next week with Easter going on and, tax season, long nights, long days, late nights, however it goes. It was a lot. And then we had a friend who was here for a couple of weeks, crashing at our house. And even though he wasn't an imposition and he didn't need to be entertained or anything like that. When I say crashing, yeah, we did hang out together some, but there were days where we were like, did he come back last night? I don't know. So, because we gave him keys to the house and just, you come and go as you please, consider it your own. But even under that, right, where, no, you do what you need, whatever you please, it still kind of throws you off your routine. And so I told Dax, because we are both so entrenched in our routines, I said, it's God telling us that we need to get over ourselves and be a little more flexible. So, with all that said, I wasn't flexible enough to still come get in here when I got thrown out of my routine. So, anyway, it's all good. And like I said, it wasn't an issue. I stress about things that really don't matter. They always work out fine. I mean, I was super stressed about Easter because on Friday before Easter, I realized, hey, the store won't be open on Sunday. So perhaps you should go ahead and order what you need from the store. But even that, it all worked out fine. Anyway, okay, that's it. I'm rambling. That is all for now. Like I said, I hope I'll see you next week. I'm going to do my best to get back into a routine, which we've just discussed. And we'll see you then. Thanks, y'all. Bye.